perfectionist, that I was extremely hard on myself, and she didn't soften that. And I felt like it was established because they were always pushing me. You know, not having any siblings, it wasn't able to kind of get dispersed. So it was like, you need to be smart, you need to be, you know, good, you need to be, everything was on it. So she missed that and didn't really know how to nurture that. And my mom was a teen mom, so we kind of grew up together. So she had missed just those kind of conversations of, you know, shit, I'm 17, 18 when I had you. So some of this I'm learning too. So it had created like almost resentment and anger towards her. Like, why you don't know how to do this? I'm filling out this college application and you don't know how to do it, but such and such mother knows how to. So, but it wasn't a lot of conversation about just her struggle per se. And she instilled a very intense paranoia in me. Like, it started out with just learning my surroundings and just being, you know, aware of things, but it turned into a this could happen to you kind of thing. So my dad took that on too because he wasn't in the home. So it was like, yo, such and such did something to you, and it would be like, no, but should I be looking out? Is he going to? You know, so they increase what started out as just like awareness, and it went to, like I said, a place of paranoia that they deposited in me. So those was two areas that I feel like they paid attention to what I did, but there was sometimes they missed me as the kid. That as tough as I was and knew how to handle myself, they missed the sensitivity that was in me. And like I said, I asked that because, you know, one of my favorite quotes is Frederick Douglass. He says, it's easier to build healthy children than to repair broken men. Or women, you know what I'm saying? So we got this badge of honor of being parents, but kind of forgetting how much of you are playing a part in raising this kid. So it's like, oh, he's smart, he's this, but you will show up in this parenting if you are not processing your experiences, how it still affects you. You know, a lot of things I heard you guys say is that lack of affection and things like that. And you'll say like, oh, well, I show my kids affection, but are you showing your spouse affection? Are you know, like, how is it showing in your life? Because the kids are watching everything, not just how you are with them.
Yeah, you ain't lying, because Morgan just asked me the other day, like, I guess me and Kiana, we was talking. She thought we was arguing.
Yeah.
But we weren't arguing. We wasn't even arguing. We was just like, sometimes when we talk, our voice do get elevated, but we just passionate about that topic. Especially we talking about like music or something. But she just immediately went to us arguing. She was like, why would you argue with my mommy? I'm like, my first thought was, why the fuck you listening anyway?
Right.
There's grown folks talking. What the fuck you talking about? Sit your little ass down.
Stay out my business.
Right. Especially since I'm in my bedroom. Like, so what the fuck are you doing?
I love that honesty.
But then I was just like, no, I'm not arguing with her because I don't want her to think that a dude could come at it incorrect like that. You know what I'm saying? Or if that do happen, this is how you handle that. Type of thing. So
they watching. They are audience. People are like, I'm this way with my kids. Yes, but your kids seen you fucking have a whole shit show outside with somebody else. What the fuck? You think they're not learning off of that? Just because you read a bedtime story last night and kissed and said prayers, they still see you fucking acting stupid here.
Yo, wait a second.
Right,
but she took her ass to Chipotle.
No post
we
office
went
for
somewhere
sure.
the other day, full disclosure. And Journey don't like no commotion, okay? She don't want me cussing.
Fuck no.
She don't like
no.
You would have thought she was abused.
Right.
You would. She go with Sonny and Kiana and lose it, like me climbing up Sonny's leg.
Like, Shug, come get her. I just want you to know your kid is on my kneecap, but all she heard was somebody beep the horn outside.
She ain't for no fucking commotion. We pulled up somewhere, and I was like, let me get out this car. She was like, don't cuss anybody out, okay?
Look at that shit.
Just turn the music back on for me, okay? And I get back in the car. It's like, did you cuss? I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
and I felt horrible.
You should have.
But you know what? Last year, one day, she was like, telling me she needed me to come talk to the kids in her class. I was like, well, what you want me to do? What you asked me to cuss them out? Not like that, but just kind of say, don't talk to my daughter like that, but don't use any cuss. I'm like, you using me now?
Well, that's true, because somebody took my bike as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't take it from me. They took it from somebody else who I let borrow it, and I called my father. He hung the person off of the building, and I lived on a 6-story building. I had never called my father again for a problem. And his exact words is, if you want somebody to yell, call your mother. If you want somebody to handle it, call me.
Yes,
and it was like, okay, no problem. I had to beg my father not to fucking drop this person. So after that, it was like, Daddy, I want you to handle it, but not handle it. That's, I felt what Journey said. All right, guys, I need some takeaways. Everybody go around, tell me a takeaway when it comes to parenting.
My first one is don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. I know I was thinking when Calvette was talking, like, my kids are only 2, you know, me and Soph, I'm gonna write this book, and Soph's gonna do the blended family chapters of this book. But the developmental stages of parenting, we have to grow with our children. Mm-hmm. And so as your children grow up, just know that they're gonna need something different from you every single stage that they go through. So just be open-minded to growing, and do not be hard on yourself.
Yeah. So you could master one and then feel like you got a 0 on a card at 3.
Yeah.
That could happen, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, like something is different because what worked at 1 may not work at 3.
And it's damn sure not going to work at 13.
Oh, fuck no.
Shit.
Calvette, what you got? What's the takeaway you got?
So my takeaway is going to have to be, because we just talked about this, is make sure, like, you are still showing, like, affection to your spouse, even though, because I show all my love to my kids, especially since they've been born, and sometimes I forget, like, oh, snap, the person that brought them here is missing out.
Yeah.
So as much as you show your kids affection, and if your spouse is in the house, or just make sure your kids are actually seeing you show some type of affection, because I think for me, it's like I said, my dad was affectionate with my mom, but he wasn't with us. And I was like, oh, I focused on that a lot. So where now I'm starting to see it like, damn, you sometimes still have to be, not sometimes, you have to be, you have to be affectionate. And I lose that. And I've lost it, honestly, since the kids were born. And I got to remind myself, or something is said, which I'd be like, damn, she is right, shit. Because we so worried and involved in the kids is that you can't forget that. So that's my takeaway.
Dope awareness, Calvette. Sonny, what you got?
Adaptability.
That's a good one,
right? Fuck you using GRE words on a Thursday morning.
No, Sophia, don't try to bring something in there.
No, y'all, like you said earlier, we all educated, and y'all both doctors and shit. So I can't come with the 5th grade vocabulary. You know what I'm saying?
Adaptability.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Capital A. But I say that because each kid is different.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Each kid different, especially now, like I said, with my son being on the spectrum. So I gotta parent him differently, with respect to and it's weird like how like God works in that way, because prior to that I worked with kids with disabilities. Like all of them had autism, and then I worked with adults who had physical and mental. But it was just weird because I got this degree in electrical engineering, but I'm doing this. Like, how the fuck did that happen? And then for that and then for my son to have that disability, so it's adaptability. But for any parent that has a kid with a disability, like that's not the it's not the end. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like, it took me a while to kind of like accept that, especially when it was like, yo, why him? Because before him, before JoJo came, he was the last man in my whole family.
Wow.
So for him to come out with a disability, like, yo, that's some bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember like praying to God or whatever, and you know, it was just like, yo, big homie, like, what is you doing?
Yeah.
Like, lead me in the right direction, like, cause big fella, I need some help out here, sure. But definitely that adaptability, and also, like you said, that Frederick Douglass quote, that's perfect. You can't build a kid up if you broken yourself. So I gotta accept my faults and how I need to address that. You know, so so to my therapist, I'm gonna hit you up soon. I took a couple months off because I thought I had it figured out.
You thought you was cured?
I thought I was
Shame
straight.
on you. What the fuck, yo?
I thought I was better.
That's that crackhead syndrome that I tell my clients.
It was also the money syndrome too. That shit is not cheap.
It does, but I bet you this goddamn shirt you have on and these sneakers
well, the sneakers my wife bought them. The shirt is actually I found this.
Right, Calvin?
I found the shirt. And actually, I found this at Walmart. Actually, and
my man's a bargain parent.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely Julius from Everybody Hates Chris when it comes to myself.
You said it, right? You said
like,
it.
I'm a better giver than receiver. So it's like me spending money on myself like that. I can't do it. I'm not there yet, especially when I got a wife and 4 kids to provide for. But yeah, that's my takeaway: adaptability. Make sure you are whole yourself before you try to bring somebody else up in that way.
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, you guys touched on every last one that I'll say, and I'll just kind of expand upon what Sonny said. You know, I say you are the first everything with everything, and parenting is not exempt. I joke with clients and I say, like, parenting is the longest standing test ever. You don't fucking know if you fail until 30 years. Every other exam, you might have to wait 2 months, 3 months for exam, right on the spot. This is the one where that child may look you and say, you failed, yo. You failed, you know, and you just keep at it. But one of the ways that you are the most effective is really doing your work. Because of our upbringing and stuff that we've been exposed to, a lot of times we want to pour into the child. Like, I didn't have this, so I want to give it to you. You know, we grew up poor, so, you know, you're going to have this white picket fence and you're going to have everything. And again, you could be missing the child. Stop projecting your stuff, because this fucking kid may not even care about those things. Right. It may be something else. So stop projecting what you didn't have and just deal with what you didn't have, so that you won't use the children to be the void filler. The child cannot be a void filler. And what happens is you create brokenness, because you are broken. So you are going to create that. You're going to manifest that, and that they're going to be attracted to the house and whatever other stuff too. But it's like, if you, and you know, parenting doesn't have a menu. There is no guidelines with this. What works well for these 3 that's here may not work well for me and whoever else in the world. But I am clear that the more I'm working on me and I'm developing, I am a more effective parent.
Right.
And that's with the child with a disability or a typical developed kid, that I have to really do my work so I could stop projecting that on my children. That is my biggest takeaway. Remove parenting. And you know, I've been so raw with clients at times, and ones that I have a rapport with, fuck the kid right now. Like, literally like that. Fuck that kid. Because if you are not whole, you fucking giving this kid you're the half end of what you got anyway. So fuck that kid right now. Fuck the marriage, fuck that kid right now, and work on you. And I promise you, I will bet my whole Medicaid check that every other relationship you are in will blossom. Because you are whole, so that's what you're going to attract, that's what you're going to exude. So remove from the parent role right now and say, how can I be better me? And automatically you're a better parent. Ta-da! Yo, guys, I am so humble that you guys was just transparent and raw and
it can't be no other way, like, because y'all have called us out on that bullshit.
Yeah, we would have, but we didn't even have to.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and I remember Kiana gonna fry me for that, because she was like, yo, I'm not even gonna try to censor you, son. I said, man, I'm in the studio now. Fuck it. It's a wrap.
Sonny.
What's up with you?
You are enough.
I am.
Right?
I am, right?
Exactly.
Fat Boy Fall Ambassador is in the building. You already know what it is,
Cuddle
shorty.
time is here. Calvette, yo, we appreciate you for taking this time to bless us with you guys' wisdom and energy. It was definitely one of my dopest experience.
And for all of our listeners, all of you guys go and check out the Fatherhood Project.
Yes.
Where can they find you guys on Instagram?
At Fatherhood Project. You check us out on Spotify. Just search Fatherhood Project. We in there. Hey, Calvin, let's try to shoot for Sunday.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's
try to make that happen. Yo.
All right.
All right, guys. Take
Until
care,
next
good people.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate all
Peace.
y'all.